Hello everyone, welcome back to another Rosie video. Today's just gonna be a really quick video. I just wanted to talk about the format in Star Wars Unlimited called Twin Suns. I was very blessed and very fortunate to be able to try Twin Suns for the first time recently with a group of my friends. The same guys I play regular Star Wars with. I managed to convince them to give Twin Suns a try, which led just for a little backstory. That meant that I had to create each deck for the guys to play. So we'll talk a little bit about Twin Suns. We'll talk a little bit about the decks I made and how the game went. But essentially, Twin Suns, for those who don't know, it's essentially the commander format of Star Wars Unlimited. And it's a good thing, it's a bad thing. It kind of depends on your perception of it. I know there's some people who are scared that with a Twin Suns focus, the game, the 50 card format will die. It's the same because a lot of people feel like that's what's happening with Magic right now. Is they're switching to a commander centered focus, and they're trying to print cards specifically for commander in sets that aren't supposed to be commander themed. Um, I don't really personally, I don't think that's going to be as big of an issue with Star Wars, mainly because the game is being built from the ground up with this set or this format in mind, and with the 50 card format in mind, Premiere. And I think building the game from the start will definitely make it easier for them to stay on top of and create a healthy game environment. Magic struggles from the fact that it is, kind of an antique into today's gaming. It's not a bad antique. I love antiques personally, but the way that the game plays has evolved over the time, and the formats that exist today was not the original way that Magic was played. So the cards are, kind of throughout its history are very and intended for very different uh like format healths, if that makes sense. But it's not the end of the world for Magic. It's not the end of the world for Star Wars either. I think it's a good thing for Star Wars. But essentially, it's a 3 to 4 player format. Right now, the deck sizes are 50. I believe with the next set, Jump to Lightspeed, they will be jumping to 80 card decks. A singleton. You can only have one copy of a card in each deck. That does not mean that you can have only one copy of a character. So if you have two different Ahsokas, two different, I'm trying to think of who has multiple Chewbacca's. If you have, you can have one of each different type of Chewbacca in your deck. So you can't have multiple of the same exact card, but you can have multiple of the same characters. So it's best of one. It's literally just the multiplayer way to play the game. But a big twist is that you have two leaders. So if you see right here, exactly two leaders, and they have to share heroism or they have to share villainy aspect. So it literally, besides that, the game plays almost the same exact way, minus the way that the initiative counter stuff works a little bit differently. There's two additional counters that you can claim. One is called the plan counter. It lets you draw a card and then put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. And then the other one is called a blast counter, and it lets you do 1 damage to every other person's base. The end of the game is also different in the fact that it is not last man standing. Instead, whenever somebody loses and gets knocked out, they will how does it work? So if I knock someone out and I destroy their base, then I gain 5 hit points, or I heal 5, and then we play out the rest of that initiative turn. And at the end of that initiative turn, whoever has the most health wins. So you don't play the last man standing. That's I think, very healthy in terms of just retaining players throughout the night. If you're gonna play multiple games at night, it sucks in Commander to be the first one that gets knocked out, and it could be some cheese reason that sucks that you're getting forced out of the game, and then the other 3 people go on and play for another hour and a half, and you're sitting and you're watching SpongeBob on the TV, waiting for people to start the next game so you can rejoin. That erases all of that. So I actually am a really big fan of it. It also means, if it gives people more of a reason to politic and to build alliances. If one guy is he had a really bad start, and one guy is doing a lot better than the other two available, Well, the other two available are probably going to try to protect that weaker guy because they know that if they let the guy who has the ultimate lead on everyone win the game, then they're going to end up or if they let that guy that has the ultimate lead and all the health knock out the weakest guy, then they have no chance to win the game. So it pushes people who are have lower caliber board states to have to work together in order to stay in the game because there's no long term plan for I got to survive for myself and be the last one standing. So it's very much it can turn into the big bad evil guy and the rebellion trying to stop him. So it's fun. It's very dynamic. It's very swingy. It's very fast paced. It's just like the 50 card format in terms of pace, in my opinion. Obviously, it's a longer game. There's more people, but pace wise, you fly through it. I love the action interaction, but that's just me talking about what I like about Star Wars. Besides that, I've tried to build 4 decks that I thought were flavored pretty well. I focus on just flavor mechanics and maybe cards that work well together and are flavored well instead of just trying to build the ultimate decks that are super strong. So my first deck I did was Padme and Anakin. I believe yellow was the base for it. For those who don't know, here's Padme. She's basically Republic tribal. And then Anakin, I kind of just viewed him as like the beat stick that you can bring in late in the game and try and win with it. This is actually the deck I ended up playing. We rolled for random decks. It played pretty well. I'm not going to share deck lists or anything because honestly, my deck lists were terrible. I literally just pulled out the cards of my collection. And honestly, I think this is the way the game should be played that makes it fun. It's very, very kitchen table esque. But I pull out cards of my collection that I thought would go well. They were Republic themed, or they, maybe had some Force synergy, or literally just anything. A lot of set 3 stuff. Threw it into a pile. Was like, these are deck cards that might not, or that might make the cut. Counted those cards up. I had a little over 50. I said, you know what? That's good enough. That's what we're going with. I did that for every single deck. The second deck I did was Vader and Palpatine, set 1 Palpatine. It's a classic. If you play this game, you know what these cards do. I just figured what better way to theme it than Vader and Palpatine, just because it's just fun. And I did green for the base, and I put all my ramp cards into there. And the guy that played this, I think, actually enjoyed the deck a lot. He did a lot of he was able to control the board pretty well with the Darth Vader, which was pretty fun. And it worked well into the Bosk and Jabba deck. This deck did not do anything in the game, and I don't think it's because of the leaders. So here's Jabba. For those who don't know, he can create bounties, and then Bosk plays around bounties. So it wasn't because I don't even think it's necessarily because of the deck list either. It wasn't fleshed out. It was a pile of cards that related to bounties, a lot of set 2 cards and stuff, and there were cool stuff in there, but we only played 1 game, and it just didn't get a chance to get going. And he actually was the guy that got knocked out. But there were some fun interactions where Jabba would put a bounty on one of the units on the field, and then the Vader player would use Vader's action to steal the bounty from underneath them. It was pretty fun because you had to be really conscious of multiple players. And then the last deck was Dooku and Nute Gunray. So Nute Gunray gives you a battle droid back if you lose 2 units, and then Dooku lets you sacrifice your units to play some Separatist cards. A lot of set 3 cards in here too. It's basically Separatist tribal. This deck feels very akin to Yu-Gi-Oh! I was a big Yu-Gi-Oh player back in the day. A lot of the guys I was playing with were Yu-Gi-Oh players also, and it was fun. It was just a fun environment. A lot of joking, a lot of messing around, a lot of, oh, I'm gonna steal your bounty, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, whatever. But in terms of my own thoughts and opinions on the game, I would 100% recommend Twin Suns. Anybody who maybe tried just Premier or just Draft or just Sealed Play and hasn't tried Twin Suns yet, I think you are doing yourself a disservice. You are missing out on a very fun way to play the game. And I realize you got to get 3 to 4 people. That's kind of can be hard for some people to do, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you get the opportunity to, do not pass up on it because it opens up the game in a way that you never would have thought of otherwise. Because I played a lot of Premier recently. I played in a couple tournaments. I played at a couple stores. in different areas too. I played back in my parents where they live, and then where I'm at for college. I've kind of tried to get a lot of different games in and stuff. And I play a lot of draft too. That's the main way that me and my play group that plays at my house play. We play a lot of draft and a little bit of Premier too. Not a little bit. We play a lot of Premier too. But Twin Suns is the it is if you like Commander at all and you're not trying Twin Suns or playing Twin Suns, then you are doing something wrong, to say the least. So 100% recommend it, especially if you're a Commander fan. I am a Commander fan. It's not my favorite way to play Magic the Gathering, but I do enjoy it. It's fun. It really is the epitome of the gathering aspect of card games. So Twin Suns is the exact same way. It is building upon its predecessors in terms of other card games and stuff like that, and it is creating an environment that's very fun to play, and I'm excited to see where the format goes in the future. But thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I will see you all in the next video. I love you all. Have a great rest of your week. Check out my other videos.